Hello and welcome back to the channel for another bat rep today. A large battle, the first large battle, because almost all my miniatures are painted. It's not completely true, but many of them are. And so today we'll offer you a large bat rep between the French and the Brits, who are run by Gerald, who lead the defense. The battle here today is a flank action where part of the army led by Duke of Wellington will defend this village along the road who leads to Lisbon from the forces of the Maréchal Massena. So first time a marshal of Napoleon will lead the army against their most stoic enemy, Lord Wellington. The battle, as I said, is a flank action, so the French are trying to envelope the Brits' main army, and this force will try to prevent. Brits are less understrained compared to the French, some about 100 points less than the French, but they have strong defensive position, so this will mitigate that disparity in point. The mission is pretty simple. The French, to win, must have more points than the Brits. The village grant 10 victory points if controlled by the attacker, and 5 if controlled by the defender. 5 points if the attacker will drive away from this barricade the defender, and 3 points if the defender still hold it. 3 points for the woods, both the army, 3 points for this large hill from both of the army, plus any defeat inflicted grant 1 victory point. The woods are defendable terrain. The barricade are soft cover and obstacle. No, it's not an obstacle because they can shoot it, but grant cover. And then the village, the walls of the village is the same as the barricades, and eventually the 3 houses can be occupied and are defendable terrain for 1 battalion. Now the forces are starting from the Brits. Here we have the 2nd Division, 4th Brigade, General Campbell here, and then the 92 Gordon Highlander, the 40 Line Battalion, 40 Rifle Battalion, 69 Line Battalion, 1 piece of artillery, 51st Light Infantry Battalion. In the center, the Duke of Wellington is leading the army. Then the 1st Division, Brigadier General Campbell, the 40 Cornwall Battalion, 32nd Cornwall Battalion, the 1st Scots, the 42 Black Watch, the 71st Light Glasgow Light Battalion, and the piece of artillery, and the 95th Rifle under strength. The defense of the village is attached to the King German Legion, the 1st and the 5th German Legion Line Battalion, the 2nd line, but the 2nd King German Legion Light Infantry, and a detached battalion of Portuguese. The British have a brigade of guard in reserves, and the AA will select right flank because the village is the most decisive spot to defend, and if the thing will change they move to a central defend. And that's it for the Brits. Now moving to the French forces. Leading the army, Maréchal Massena. We made some home rule for each marshal, and Massena grant 1 attack dice to every troop within 12 inches if they are charging. Then the 1st Division, General Merle here, with 4 line battalion, a detachment of infantry and 1 unit of field artillery. Then the 2nd Brigade, General de Brigade Sarou, with 3 Légers deployed in open order, plus 1 Combine Voltigeur understrained, and 2 units of 2 battery of horse artillery. Follow the Légers, there was the spearhead of the main attack, a Grenadier brigade led by Houdinot himself, plus 3 units of veteran elite and melee grenadier, and for this battle I use the old guard model as elite grenadier, just because I have not enough grenadier for the peninsula ready. And then moving on the other side, the 2nd Division 1st Brigade, General de Brigade Foy, with 4 battalion in line and 1 battalion of Swiss line, battalion de ligne, 2 units detached infantry, 1 artillery, and then a small cavalry brigade with 1 unit of dragoon with elite tenacity, 4 hussars, and 11th Lancers de ligne. And that's it for the army. Now we are moving to the first turn, and the attacker will move first. The first turn is over. The French made generally at the double advance, taking just some position to prepare the attack. The cavalry move on a flank of the Brits to stay outside the range of the musketry of the British. I made a mistake. Campbell is leading the guard in reserve. Is Cameron who leads the Scots Brigade in the center. Essentially, that's it. No shooting at all. The card drew by the French is 9, so is a surprise attack, a very good one to start the game. And now moving to the British first turn. At the moment the weakest flank is on the left, so at a -1 to the roll, and the AA roll at 2, which mean 1, so relieve. That stay where they are, preferring shooting to everything else, and so just the artillery will fire in a moment. The center and the left have no modifier at the moment, because they are in good position but not in advantage. So no modifier, and the center 1 stay relieve, so stay put and shoot. And on the village is a 6, 6 is engaged, so they move forward if they can to engage the enemy. It doesn't look the best result, so we'll see. Probably the light infantry and the Portuguese take a step over the wall to engage the enemy, and then will fall back and the next turn. This makes sense to me for what the AA commanded to the troop of General Wellington, which stay put in the middle, because it's not at the moment really clear where his defensive ability will need it the most. So back in a sec at the end of this shooting phase and the movement phase. So the turn is over. This is the really only one movement that makes sense. The 2nd King German Legion open order and move forward to start on the next turn to put some shoot into the enemy, taking few casualties, and then when the things start to get out, they fall back in protection. This look why a wise general interpret the engage as okay, that AI give you order, but if you don't want to play completely without any sense, sometimes is need like flexible mentality. The 95th shoot with the skirmisher but miss, artillery miss, the other artillery misses, so no casualty in the French deployment, and the card drew is a 7, which is a direct fire and will come in handy in a turn or two at least. The opening salvo from the French artillery in the second turn caused one casualty to the second KJL. The rest of the units are all out of range of their musketry, so this closed the firing phase, and now we're proceeding to the movement phase with the light brigade here. The light brigade will move for free, and then we're proceeding with the rest of the army. The main plan from Massena is try to take the village, but he learned a lesson of his masters. The plan is we start and then we will see. On s'engage puis on voit, as Napoleon said, so the grenadier can put pressure on the village, but if the village will result not to crack, they can always try to attack the center, while in the plan of Massena the second brigade down there and the cavalry will try to envelope and catch that British brigade and then try to convert on the center. It's a 3-hour game, so the time is on the hand of the French. The reserves will arrive, and they will arrive where the Brits need it the most, so the plan will be adapted to the change of the situation, moving to the movement phase, activation phase. French second turn, it's over, everything activated with success. Also artillery make its movement, taking the line with the light infantry, and the grenadier pack themselves ready behind the light brigade, the Leger brigade. In the center brigade, 1st Division, take the attack formation and deploy its artillery. Massena is moving in the center but slightly on his right to support this side, which probably in his plan will be the first to start the attack. Here the 2nd Division, 1st Brigade move forward, protected by the veil of voltigeur, deployed its artillery for support from the distance, and cavalry stay put but in range to charge this unit of British, which have to choose what to do now that is going to start the British second turn. The British drew an all-out assault, not very useful at the moment, and now proceeding to the side on the left. They are in a disadvantage, so a number, and they play 3, which is a 2 with a -1, a relieve, stay put and shoot whatever. They are take a defensive position, so the Brits on the hill will probably go into square. And the center, they are still in without any modifier. They are strong position, so no modifier, but 1 is relieve, stay put and shoot. In the village now the potential of the firing coming is hard, so at least they are in without any modifier, and the 3 is a probe, so attack when they can win or stay and take defensive position. So the 2nd King German Legion will move back behind the wall. Now moving on to the fire phase for the Brits, and they are going to use the direct fire in the central brigade to take many casualties as possible. A pretty nasty firing phase. They miss, but the skirmisher from that unit put a casualty into the Leger down here. The 95th, supporting the artillery, put a 3 casualty into the scallop of attack, while this unit of Leger, with the direct fire card playing it, managed to hit 4 times that unit and shaken them. On that side, the combined fire of this unit in the wood, with the smoke for you only, and the artillery put 1 casualty into this voltigeur down here, and the skirmisher of this unit here put 1 casualty into this SAR, so that they now can take an action and change their formation. Now proceeding to the activation phase for the Brits. and the unit which will free activate are the German brigade into the village. That's it, this brigade successfully activate, and that unit take the square, and down there the second KJL back, stay in open order and back beyond the wall. And now moving to the British turn 3 after a very effective defensive turn for the Brits. Along the French fire the skirmisher exit their unit and start to shoot. The skirmisher from that column put one casualty into the square. Combined fire from this voltigeur put one casualty into the artillery, and that voltigeur and the artillery put one casualty into the wood here. Then in the center, skirmisher fire from then for the voltigeur in front, although shaken, hit and put one casualty here. They support the artillery down there. So the combined fire, I can't remember who hit, but take a 6 on this unit here and put one casualty. And one casualty is taken on the 95th for the skirmisher of that leger. The artillery put one casualty into the second. The artillery put one casualty here into the Portuguese, and the two units of leger in front put another casualty on the second KJL. So pretty effective fire for from the French for such a small firepower. And I'm moving into the activation to see if they will successfully make something interesting. It's only for the cavalry. Cavalry is moved forward. The hussars try to rally but fail. Sadly, this brigade didn't receive their order, so they stay where they are in place of charge the square and the woods. And this is not exactly in the plan, but we will see. It is what it is. And the center and on the French left, everything goes according to the plan. Line and column charge the light battalion here with a surprise attack. The column in the back move forward, take place of the column which taken casualty and charge the wounded 95th. Here a general advance of the leger in range of full fire, and the grenadier of Oudinot in the back move close to the line and take every option. Two units are ready to move in the center if needed or attack the village, and one is dedicated to the village only, at least at the moment. And now we are moving to the first melees of the game. So we start here, defender of the barricades. Okay, so the main attack is carried on by the French line, which are regular infantry for 4 attack, but they are in line 5 plus 2 because they have the support of the column also engage, and plus 1 because of Massena, so 8 attack. The Brits have regular 3 because they are light infantry, plus 1 because they are in line, plus 1 for the brigade support, plus 1 for the Wellington support. So the French are without any casualties, so they eat on a 3 without rerolls. The Brits eat on a 4, rerolling 1. Oh, the Brits eat 5 times on 6, and the French eat 5 times on 6, so they win just because they are the attacker. The Brits hit incredibly well. Anyway, they take 4 casualties, 1 more than the necessary for a Valor test. The other melee is here, and so we have they are exactly within 12 inches from Wellington. So the column have 4 attack and they have a LAN because they are supported by the column in the rear and plus 1 dice from Massena. The column in the rear take casualties, so they eat on a 4, rerolling 1. They have usually 3, but they are on the strain, so 2 plus 1 because They are also in open order, so they left one die and take one back because of Wellington. So 6 on a 4 plus, rerolling 1 against 2 on a 4 plus, rerolling 1. So this time the French miss 3 times, no matter the reroll, but hit 3 times, while the Brits fail both of their attack. The 95th is now shaken because they just get 1 casualty plus 3. They reach their value of tenacity. And thanks to the general, they are elite tenacity. So no test here, they are shaken. And 2 valor tests here because they got 1 casualty before. So 2 dice on a 4 plus for a valor test, 1 miss, and the unit is broken. And now we'll see if they take a valor test. -1, no, -1 because the unit is more than 5, +1 for Wellington, and +1 because there's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 unit in the brigade. So on a 3, on a 2 plus. Okay, no defeat, but just 1 broken unit. I remove the casualty and back in a sec. So the remaining gauges, they are removed, and that's put an end to the French turn. A third for the Brits. At the beginning of the third turn, the Brits drew an 8, a stubborn, which will be helpful next the previous turn and not now. Proceeding now to shooting and then back for the activation. The second kill, German Legion put all of their attack into the Leger, causing 2 wounds. It's strange because it's freshly painted, so usually they perform very poorly, but they put 2 casualty. The Portuguese put 1 casualty into the combined voltage here. The line hold their fire because they want to charge. The artillery shoot with his canister in the face of this line, causing 1 casualty, and now they are proceeding to test. Here the light battalion into the woods obtained to shaken this unit of Irish voltigeur, while the artillery, which also fired, forgot the smoke, put 1 casualty into the column on the hill, and this is the punishment because you failed to activate, and the square failed to hit the incoming dragoon. And that's it for fire. Now a test for the line on a 3 plus, which is pass, so they hold their nerve, but the Black Watch here is ready to make an easy job of them. Moving into the activation, and the activation for free is the Central Brigade, because I don't want that they fail. Oh, I forgot to roll for the AA left. They react because it's under strain, so they stay put and shoot essentially. In the center they react, which allow me to charge after the shooting, because they charge where they can easily win, when they have a good opportunity to win. So the Black Watch here will charge, and they will retreat, and they will stay where they are and hold their position, because only when the enemy unit are taking casualty or is there are concrete possibility to win the melee with react a unit attack. And on the right side, 6 they also react. No, sorry, 6 is engage, but again, in this situation, engage is not possible to charge, so they are shooting everything, and is a good engagement. Probably the column will move in counter-strike position, and the reserve will arrive this turn. and see. We're back in a moment. The activation phase is over. The Black Watch charged the line across the barricade, and the reservists arrived as the hey command. They reinforced the village because this is the main purpose of this strategy of game. 2 units of guard has arrived in march column, and a unit of riflemen occupy this house here. At the moment the situation do not require any change of strategy. The center is in trouble, but not so in trouble because they cause discrete casualty among the French in the center, and the right is still on its place. Sorry. Now proceeding to this melee, which is hard in the favor of the Brits. Highlander Black Watch, 4 dice. +1 because they are in line, +1 because they are melee, +1 for the brigade support of the artillery. The French have 4 dice, +1 because they are in line, and 1 for the brigade support. So the Brits hit on a 3, rerolling 1. The French hit on a 5, rerolling nothing. So it's a quite a sure result, but we will see. Indeed, the French put 1 casualty into the Brits, and the Brits put a ton of casualty. The Scots chop into the French. They hit 5 times, so 5 Valor test for the French, which probably will rout an attack. Indeed, they rout, absolutely rout. So the turn will end with a Fortitude test for the French commander. He is 5 units still on the table, so +1 because there are 5 units still on the table, +1 because Massena is in their place, so on a 2+. And his pass, it was regularly passed with a 4. So no defeat at the moment, and moving to the French turn. The firefight continued. Both the cavalry put 2 casualty into the square with their carbine. In the fate phase, Massena promoted them grognard, so they became +1 elite and tenacity and melee. They shoot with their skirmish, and they shoot fully, but they fail to do anything here, but while they put 1 casualty and shaken the artillery. Down here, the artillery fire, that unit fire, but both fail to hit any Scotsman on this side. That fire here shaken the Portuguese and completely miss the second KJL. And now moving to the activation. The Central Brigade take caution movement and charge the artillery because they are a real pain in the ass at this close distance in column. The Grenadier of Udinot is moving forward into the center, ready to take the action where more is needed. Both the option of charge is good, while the entire light brigade is shooting, so they can stay where they are. Apart this Leger will overtake their partner unit and take the front substantially to open space for the Grenadier to concentrate in the center. Massena is moving on this side where everything is charged in. This column of attack into the woods, this column of attack into the shaken artillery, this column of attack with the less grognard and the support of the Swiss on that side, and the artillery flanking the Brits on this side with a force to change into square or be charged in the flank. And the last movement, they have moved back previously. No, they moved this turn, so no, sorry, nothing happened. That's it. So moving now to the melee of this side. So starting with a fight in the wood, for attack for the French in column, +1 for Massena. against, they usually are 3, they are in open order, they are defending a wood, and that's it. 5 against 3. French hit on a 3, rerolling 1, Brits hit on a 4, rerolling 1. So at the moment it's 2. Okay, so 3 hits for the British, for the French, and 2 hits for the Brits, and this means 3 casualty, and they are shaken. Against the artillery, they have 4 attack because it's artillery canister, but they are shaken. The column of attack have 4 attack, +1 for Massena. Hit on a 3, rerolling 1, the French hit on the Brits, hit on a 5, rerolling nothing. So 1 hit from the artillery crewmen, but the French hit 4 times, so it's 4 Valor test for the British artillery. And now moving to the top of the hill where the square is charged. So regular infantry is a 4 attack. It is in the square, so get +1. The French get 4 attack, +1 for Massena and 1 for the Swiss in support, and 1 because they are the grognard. But they hit on a 4 because they had 1 casualty. So both the units hit on a 4, both the hits reroll the 1s. So we'll see. French hit twice and miss with everything. The Brits hit twice, but I have 2-1 to roll, so no. So the square take 2 casualty and need to test, because with 1 it reach its shaken status, and 1 is over is tenacity. So the square need to test and the artillery need to test. Starting with the square, which is just a single roll on a 4+. It missed the try. It stay, but they are shaken, and the artillery have 4 and is routed. And now the brigade needed to test, and they are only 4. So no minus, no bonus on a 4+. The first suffered the first defeat, but it also means that this unit which is shaken and this unit which is shaken are destroyed. So when the artillery fled the field, also the light brigade, the light battalion and the square see their fate as doom and flee as well. So proceeding to remove this casualty. And this is a blow for the British flank, and what is in the real plan of Massena, as I told at the beginning of the game, envelop this flank. Back in a sec. The British side is collapsing now. They also within 6 inches, so they take 1 casualty and have a cavalry on the flank, an entire brigade pretty safe into the front with this unit which occupy the woods because they routed the unit inside. Not sure if they can occupy consequences to the failure of Fortitude test. Probably not. Let me double check. The rules speak about winning in melee, routing in melee, so they stay where they are essentially. And now moving to the center with a column attacking the artillery. This time the artillery is completely safe. 4 attack, 5 for the Wellington proximity, and 1 for the brigade support, so 6 attack. French have a 5 attack because 4 for the column and +1 for the brigade support. It takes support from the unscattered unit, so they hit on a 3 while the artillery hit on a 4. French can roll the 1. It's not necessary, but they hit 3 times, and the artillery hit 3 times. So, luckily for the French, the artillery cannot reroll the 1, so because the French are the attacker, the artillery need to test a Valor test, because there is 1 over its tenacity, but they stay, so The artillery sticking to casualties, shaken, but they hold the line against the French, and that's put an end to the French turn, moving quickly on a British turn. The British turn, the card is a 3, confusion in the French line next turn, and now proceeding on the left, they are really outnumbered and really under the menace of the French, so -1, a 3, -1, 2, relieve. They move away from a direct threat or take defensive position, and this means they will form the square because the cavalry can reach every point. They will try to escape. In the center, the French brigade is quite battered, so we'll see. No modifier. 5 is a probe, so when they have possibility to win, they will charge. So we'll see in a sec. And on the right side is a 2 is a probe because they stay where they are and not in the threat of a direct assault. In a moment probably they will exchange, they relieve the Portuguese in the front line. And that's it. Moving to the fire phase for the Brits. British turn, the 2nd King German Legion with another casualty into the Leger here. The 1st Scots, 2 casualty into the Hodenow Grenadier is coming along the road. Nothing else is shooting because they want to move, the artillery want to move away, and the Black Watch will try to charge that battered column. Here they shoot both with the skirmisher in the front and column, but both miss. So the first activation for free is the Central Brigade, and then proceeding to the rest. Back in a sec. Everything activated in the British line. The 2 units remaining of this brigade form the square, and the officer much iconically go into the square because it's fun to make. And in the center, the artillery retreat, and the Highlander charge that unit here, and the Portuguese retreat and form a march column, while the 1st German Legion take its position. Nothing happened here. The guards are opening rank from the column to a line back of the German, and the other one is moving slightly on the left. And that's it. I'm moving to the only melee of the game, so the game of the turn. Sorry, the Black Watch will try to repulse back another French battalion. So again, they are on attack this time. So 4, 5 because veteran, 6 because they are in line, 7 for the brigade support. The French have 4 plus 1. And that's it essentially. So the force hit on a 3, both of them hit on a 4 because the Golden Highlander have 1 casualty. Hitting on a 4, everyone reroll the 1. So there's a 3 at the moment, and there are 4 for the Highlanders. So even with the reroll, the French can only manage to put more casualty, and they did. So 4 casualty to the Gordon Highlander, which, no, it's not the Gordon, blame on me, they are the Black Watch, not the Gordon. They are shaken now, they've taken 4 casualty, and they are elite in tenacity. But also the French are more than shaken, they take 4 wounds, so they have 3 valor tests to take. They are shaken, but they have they have to take 3 valor tests, which are going to make in a sec. 3 valor tests for the French. Oh, failed to the unit is routed, and now they have to test. They are 4 plus, no bonus, no minus, 4 plus. Yes, they pass, no defeat, proceeding to remove the column of attack. And this is the end of the British turn, and now beginning of the 5th of the French turn. the fire phase from the French, it's over. The Brits play disorder, so no free activation. The stir, so we'll see. The French drew all-out assault. At the moment, Massena is on this side, so no casualty here. In the center, one more casualty is put on the Black Watch from the artillery in the middle of the field, so they will take a test in a sec, a test on a 3+, and they pass easily. And 2 casualty here from the artillery and 2 casualty here from the combined fire of the Leger. So they are on 3, they are on 2. And put the smoke in front of the artillery to remember that they have shooting. And now proceeding to the activation, because no one is free in this turn due to the confusion. So on this side, the cavalry started to move on the top of the hill, hold at the moment by the veteran, the Grognard promoted on the field, the square are taken and square at the moment by the Hussars, and that line we'll see. This columns of attack all move in the center direction, while this unit here occupy the wood, and that unit there tried to rally, but they failed to rally. In the center, the brigade of infantry charge the Black Watch, and the Grenadier charge straight into the first rifle. On the rest stay where they are. So moving on to the melee, and we'll start with the Central Brigade of Infantry. We have one column with some wounds taken and another one completely free. I attack with the column without any casualty, because they want to soak any that doesn't matter. No, it's the best. Sorry, that attack with the column which take some wound. 4 attack plus 2 for the support of the column also in melee, plus 1 for the brigade support, and plus 1 for Massena. 8 attack. The Scots have 5 attack, 6 because in line, 7 for the brigade support, and 8 for the support of Wellington. So 8 on a 4+, again 8 on a 5+, all rerolling the 1. So the Brits hit on a 5 and they hit 4 times. Bloody bastard. The French hit more, many more, 5 times, 6 times. So the Scots, which have they are shaken, have to take 6 Valor tests on a 4+. I take them immediately. The Scots failed too many to use the stubborn card, and so they routed. Then moving straight forward to this melee here, which the Grenadier of Oudinot tried to force the hand. They attack a line of fresh infantry. They are Grenadier, veteran in melee and tenacity, plus the attack of Massena, plus the attack of the brigade support, plus they play all-out assault on this plus 1 die. The Brits, the first Scots, have 4 attack because of regular infantry, in line, supported by partner battalion and with the support also of Wellington. So 9 against 7, both the side hit on a 4, both the side roll the 1. So we'll see. Oof. So 2, 4, 6 attack entered for the French, 2 completely miss, and 3 enter from the Brits, 4 enter for the Brits, 2 reroll for the Brits, which means another 1, 5 casualty into the Grenadier, and a reroll for the French, which is a miss. So 5 against 6, the barely victory for the Grenadier, which force two Valor tests to the first Scots. It failed both, so again the card is useless and the unit is routed. Two units routed and that put an end to the turn. These two are gone, so it's a two Valor test for the Brigade General, and they have a +1, but they also have a -1, so two tests, one pass, one failed. The Brits use a card to pass this one, so no defeat, proceeding to removing the casualty and put an end to the French turn. A British turn. First of all, the card, which is a Queen, which means the defensive fire more dice when they defending, but the center is collapsing, the left is collapsing, so is allowed to change the strategy and try to protect the center better than the village, because the village is quite safe. The center is collapsing and more points are in the village and into the center, so this allow a change of strategy. Now on the left they are very under strain, so -1, 3 -1 2 relieve. They try to move away, maybe contest later the wood. The center is -1, a 6 -1 is a 5. Engage, they will engage if they can expect to win. This unit can try to engage here, and the reserve in the form of guard will move sideways to protect the center. On the right, no particular modifier. 2 is a relieve, so they stay where they are essentially and shoot. And that's it for the strategy. Moving on the fire phase. Okay, the firing phase. 95th Rifle shoot a skirmisher will try to rally but fail to do anything. This artillery with canister shoot and take one casualty on this unit here, which are going to test in a sec. They hold their fire, they have good possibility to charge and crush the grenadier, gaining time to the reinforcement to move sideways here. The shoot of the first KJL put one casualty here. The shoot from the second KJL finally shaken the Leger in front of hit. And that's it for the fire. Moving into the activation. This brigade will activate for free, and back in a sec. 30-second charge successfully, but the Portuguese failed to activate, so they struck the movement of the guard, which tried to move sideways, they lost 4 inches of movement, so they just in the middle of the crossing of this wall, so pretty ineffective, but that's happened. So we'll see if they will get the position in time. I think yes. But it will depend on the melee. Now, the only melee of the turn is the 30-second, which is going to attack the battered grenadier of Dino. They play all-out assault to get 1 more dice. So they are regular infantry in line, 5 dice, plus the brigade support and the all-out assault. The grenadier in column are 5 attack because they are veteran, plus the brigade support. So 6 against 7. The French hit on a 5 rerolling 1. The Brits hit on a 3 rerolling 1. So we'll see. Oh yes. The Brits hit 1, 2, 3, 4 and 2 reroll. The Brits hit 1 and got 2 reroll. So surely they have lost the melee. See how many casualty they can inflict. 2 more, 3 casualty into the 30-second, but they have to take 6 Valor test. So 6 Valor test for the French is hard to be achieved. Oh gosh, if only have the stubborn card too bad, but the grenadier is gone, and this means a fortitude test for Oudinot, which is on 3+, because he is within 12 inches from his Maréchal Massena, and is also fail. So one casualty from into the grenadier on the back, and one defeat for the French, for the General Oudinot, and that's put an end to the turn. A very bad moment for the French, very bad moment. Anyway, it is what it is. Moving on the French turn. The time is running, and we have about 40 minutes left to play in this game. Made a mistake. The card number 8 is not stubborn, is inspiration. That's it. The French now drew a 4, so it's a breakthrough. At the moment, we'll see if they have any use of it. I'm moving to the French fire now, and back in a sec for the result. The fire from the veteran put a casualty here, and another is put here. The artillery missed completely, no shooting in the center. One more casualty to this one, and they are shaken from the result of the fire of the both artillery battery. And now moving into the activation phase. Back in a sec, and the brigade coming from the French left, from the French right, successfully charge the 95th in the flank, so it will be a bad moment for that unit. They have enough movement to jump over the barricade and charge the artillery, while the grenadier of Oudinot push on the attack and charge the first Scots. The Leger slightly move in changing some position to protect the shaken unit. This 2 casualty is from this one, and the cavalry. The dragoon move versus the center, while the lancer tread the square, and this one tread the square to take out any will to move or try something more dangerous than put some pop shot into the enemy all around. So moving to the end, the center for the melee, and we're rolling 4. We start with the poor 95th against the column of attack. French column of attack. Massena is in place to give the +1 to every fighting unit, so 4 dice for the column of attack, +1 for the brigade support, +1 for the Massena, +1 because they are on the side of the enemy, which is in open order, so it's 2 attack because of the strength became an half because it's an open order, and they will have 1 die. We cannot half anymore. So the French hit on a 3, the Brits hit on a 5. Both re-rolling 1. Quite a fall for the French, a 6 against 1. They take 1 casualty because the Brits are going to die. They never will die, so put 1 casualty here, but they take 6 Valor test, and take immediately 6 Valor test for the Brits. Oh wow, the 95th proved themselves once again a very elite unit. They passed 4 on 6, but 2 is enough to rout. Then the artillery here, the 4 dice, so they're shaken by the 4 dice, +1. Oh, I forgot 1 die for Wellington for the 95th, sorry. So I roll 1 die for the 95th, which is a 1, which is a 2, it doesn't matter. So we say 4 dice +1 for Wellington, and no brigade support because every unit of the brigade are engaged. The column of attack have 4 dice plus Massena plus the brigade support. So 6 against 5, hitting on a 3 again and rerolling 1 for the French, hitting on a 5 for the Brits. So the British put 2 casualty into the French column, which hit 4 times. So 4 Valor test for the artillery, and past 3 of them, 3 on 4, really motivated the Brits, but they also failed, so another unit is routed. And now the Grenadier against the Scots. The Scots have 4 regular attack, 5 because they're in line, plus 1 for the Wellington because no unit are free to lend support. They are not Scots, they are 32nd Cornwall. The Grenadier also veteran, so 5 attack, plus 1 for the brigade support and 1 for the presence of Massena. They have a casualty, so both the unit hit on a 4, both the unit will roll a 1. So the Brits hit 1 through 3 times and 2 reroll. And the French at the moment hit 3 times and have a reroll. So the Brits hit 4 times and the French miss. So the 32nd hold the line. They are shaken, but they win the melee. So hold the line, and the Grenadier take 4 casualty and became also shaken. But now the Scots commanders have to take 2 Fortitude tests, -1, +1, so 2 tests on a 4+, 1 pass, 1 failed, 1 defeat for the Brits, but especially is a complete routed brigade, because this one is the last unit of the brigade. So 1 defeat for him, 1 defeat for the Prussian brigade, which moved to Wellington, proceeding to remove the casualty and start the British turn. So this is the situation at the moment. The center is collapsed, the British left is collapsed, just the village hold, and the guard will try now to retake the center, make what guard usually do. The card is a 6, so deadly, could be useful. The defense in the left, relieve. In the center, 4 -1 is a probe, so nothing really is in the center apart this unit of 6th Rifle with shoot, and in the right with the 2 plus nothing, so 2 is a react, so they react to the enemy move. So essentially this line will try to charge that column of Grenadier and repulse, try to rout them. If they manage to move, they will free space for that unit of guard, and essentially that's it, because the French is coming, moving to the fire for the Brits, and then we'll see for the activation. That's it for the fire. They shoot with the skirmisher because they want to move away, and did nothing. They shoot full with every muskets in the battalion and put 1 casualty into the Leger in front. The 6th Rifle put 1 casualty into the Grenadier, which are going to test on a 3+ for the fire, and they failed. So they are routed by the fire, and is another Fortitude test for the Grenadier of Oudinot. -1 +1 is on a 4+. It pass. But this will change the strategy, because they cannot reach anything at the moment, so they will take some kind of defensive position, because the French is coming, moving to the activation in a sec. That's it for the Brits. They simply move in defensive position because nothing else could be really achieved. So the Portuguese occupy this building, left space for the guard to deploy in line, protecting this side of the village. The two KJL, this one take position and a fresh battalion and stay where they are. Wellington retreat into the village while the square cannot really move. So this is for the essentially for the Brits. It started the last turn of the French because we are running out of time. The sun is going down, the sunset is coming, the battle is going to take the way of its end. The Brits at the moment hold the best terrain, but they are in bad spot, not to hold them, but to manage to repel the French and this flanking maneuver. So they are closer than this this small hamlet, and they looks more something very British, something like Rockers Drift. They are surrounded by every single side from the enemy and will try to hold for one turn. Probably the French have no real interest in crush this hard nut, so they will try to put casualty on fire. Maybe, but just maybe, if the card will good, try to break one KJL to force a test for the defeat. But Massena need only to consolidate his gaining to can claim the day, but start the French last turn. Very successful fire on this side, because the line plus the voltigeur in the wood with support put 4 casualty into the square, which have to take 2 valor tests from the fire, plus 1 more is put on the square from the carbine of the lancers. So they will have to take 2 valor tests. Both have failed miserably. So in a moment I will take the Fortitude test for the commander here. Let me just say that this unit here was shaken by the fire of artillery and that voltigeur, and that fire here and the artillery and the support of the shaken unit down there put 2 casualty in the KJL. So this is the fire for the French. The quadrille is for the Vive l'Empereur, so more movement they probably will use on this brigade to gain secure the barricade with from any possible counter strike. But moving to the 2 Fortitude test, -1 because just 1 unit is left, no general inside, 2 tests on a 5+. Both failed, so here is another defeat, another casualty for the square of the Gordon Islanders, which have not to test but are completely surrounded. It's very iconical, very effective as I imagine of how the thing is gone on this side of the hill. Now proceeding on the activation. And that's it with the card Vive l'Empereur. This brigade take this defensive position, protecting essentially the barricade, which is controlled by that unit, and the last unit of Oudinot successfully activate and charge the shaken KJL. So 1 melee to conclude the French action. So while the darkness in the South Spain is fall on the fighters, the last charge of the grenadier is happening. 5 attack plus 1 for Massena, no division, no brigade support, so our 6 attack. The KJL are in line, so 4 attack, 5 because they're in line, 6 because of Wellington, and no brigade support because the partner battalion is too far away. So the French hit on a 3, rerolling 1, and the Brits on a 5, rerolling 1. So the French hit miserably because hit just 1 time and they have 3 reroll. The Brits play defensive fire and deadly, so 1 more die, sorry, which is 1 hit, and these are reroll. So 2 more, 3 hits on the grenadier, 3 reroll for the grenadier, which hit one single time. So the KJL held the barricade and the village. The grenadier are repelled. This grenadier works very poorly today. They are far to be the elite of the army or the bravest of the brave. Anyway, they fall back with 2 casualty and put 1 single casualty, which is deleted by the win. And that's it for the French last turn, moving on the last turn of the game for the Brits. Last turn for the Brits. Surprise attack. Could be really a surprise. We'll see. Now proceeding first of all with the shooting. And here the fire put a 3 casualty here, 1 more into the grenadier, and that leger is also shaken, but with a surprise attack the guard jump out from the barricade and charge straight forward in this battalion in line. It is maybe a worthless effort for the guard, because they at least can get 1 defeat if they break the French, but is an impetus of pride for the elite of the British. So we are moving to the last melee of the turn and the last melee of the game. The British are guard, so 6 attack, +1 for the brigade support and 1 because they are in line. The French have 4 attack, +1 because they are in line, and 1 for the brigade support. French hit on a 4 without reroll. Brits hit on a 3 rerolling 1. So the guard do what guard usually do. 5 hit in the beginning, +2 reroll against 1 single hit for the French, which are not allowed to reroll anything. So 2 more. So in the end, the poor French battalion have to take 6 Valor test. So they're going to take the 6 Valor test on a 4+. Definitely no, not a single one. They were routed badly by the British Guard. It is the first guard, first rifle, and now they have to take a Fortitude test. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units left, so +1, +2, because it's within 12 inches. So on a 2+, it's pass. So just for the pride of the guard, they routed another French battalion, removed the casualty and back in a sack for the point at the end of the game, the result of the game. So the game is over. The French suffer a defeat while the Brits suffer 3. Plus, the French control the hill for 3 points, the wood for 3 points, and the barricade for 5 points. The Brits still control the village for 5 points. So point-wise, the French make 14 points in total against the 6 of the Brit. So a crushing victory for the French, which force Lord Wellington to retreat and abandon its position before the flanking maneuver of Massena will put his army in a serious threat. So that's it for the result of today. It was a very fun game. Maybe today the AA it doesn't work perfectly, but it's still a very fun game. And at the end of the day, after 3 hours of game, the French take a solid victory. I like the way the light brigade has performed, because they suffer casualty, but they pin down the Brits into the village with their fire, They cannot leave their fortification or they will suffer terribly. Let the rest of the army to concentrate on the other objective, but especially on the French right. Everything going well when the brigade fail the fortitude test and half of the brigade of the defender gone in a single roll. Anyway, that's it. It is what it is. Today is a French victory and an happy day for the Emperor. Thank you for watching and hope to see you as soon as possible. For now, bye bye.